We are live. What's happening? So I am super excited. I'm Dr. Steve Perry. I'm head of schools at Capital Prep. This was Capital Prep Harbor. This is in Bridgeport. We have two schools in Bridgeport. We have a school in Hartford. Got two schools in New York, one in the Bronx, one in Harlem. But that is not why we're here today. Today, you and I are going to have a conversation with easily one of the most important people in the United States of America. This is a sister who I am enamored with. When you meet Miss Sarah, you will be as well. I'm an educator and father. And what for me, this is an opportunity to give you insight into just what we're fighting for. It's very easy to lose your way somewhere on Twitter and somewhere on social media. And you hear through your cable news, talking heads coming at the issue from almost cartoonish perspectives. But tonight, we are live and direct to you, wherever you are, whatever device you're listening to or watching us on. You are about to be blown away. I'm often a fan of the people with whom I have the opportunity to work, but there are none who matter to me much more than Miss Sarah. So if y'all could join me in welcoming Miss Sarah from Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey, Dr. Perry.
How you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
So one of the reasons why I have so much respect for you is because you ain't about the BS. How was it that you got into the fight for our community?
I got into this fight like probably over 25 plus years ago when young parents was coming up to me at the corner store saying they passed my baby on to high school and he can't read. I knew something was wrong back then. Couldn't put my finger on it. Didn't know much as I know now about the education system and about politics, really. And I knew I had to do something. I didn't know what I was going to do, so I just started talking to people and talking to parents way back then. So
they were coming up to you. Why were they coming up to you, Miss Sarah? I mean, I know why I do now because I've seen what you do now. I saw you shut down Elizabeth Warren's campaign for president. We're going to get to that in a minute. People don't understand the reason why Elizabeth Warren is not president is because of this woman right here. So before we get there, tell us your backstory as you grew up.
I grew up in the same basically neighborhood that I live in right now. I grew up in a neighborhood where people didn't come to our neighborhood and ask us what do we need and what do we want. I grew up like that, single parent home, didn't go to college. That's where I grew up at. Just like the kids I see now, that's how I grew up. The parents that we work with every day, though, that's who I am. That's who our team is. And we'll wait till we get to the part about Elizabeth Warren before I say anything else.
Okay. Well, then let's get to that. So,
first I want to say it wasn't me alone. You know, it was a whole lot of parents up from Atlanta, Nashville, St. Louis, San Antonio. So it just wasn't me. I can't take that credit by myself. I just can't because it was Memphis parents there. I mean, we had brought parents from Memphis there also. So it wasn't just me. And I know I couldn't have stood there by myself. I know I couldn't have. So I had to clear that up off top, Dr.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate your humility and honesty. It's very easy for somebody to take credit for something that they didn't do by themselves.
Right.
And that's what you and I are going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, we're going to deconstruct the movement so people understand who our allies are and who our allies are not. Because we ain't got time for this. Because you and I spend what y'all are hearing is the conversation that me and Miss Sarah had yesterday. Because I think I can speak for both of us. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. This is foolish. We're fighting for the same stuff that they were fighting for generations ago. So you belong to a group called what?
Well, I run an organization in Memphis. It's the Memphis Live, but I belong to a larger network, the Powerful Parent Movement.
So can you talk about Memphis Lift? Because it's legendary. Yeah. You guys to think you're looking at an unassuming grandmother. You are playing yourselves. This is my grandmother's from Hamilton, or was from Hamilton, North Carolina, and she kept a shotgun behind the door.
Mm.
It was what she did. And she was proud that she kept a loaded shotgun behind the door. And everybody would see my grandmother as this, you know, this God-fearing woman who was, you know, had a great big heart and grandkids and what have you, but she kept a shotgun, double barrel shotgun behind the door at all times, just in case anybody misunderstood. You remind me of her in that sense. Tell us what Memphis Lift is.
The Memphis Lift is a parent organization in Memphis. We sit in the heart of North Memphis, and a lot
North Memphis. What's North Memphis? I think of Memphis. When I think of Memphis, I think, okay, if I'm going out to Memphis, I need to fast for 2-3 days before because everybody down there can cook. And so I'm going to eat like I've got no sense. I think of Memphis as for the music and for the barbecue. But North Memphis is what?
North Memphis is, I sometimes call it the unforgotten part of town, but we not forgotten. I don't feel like we are now, but I feel like we are the unforgotten part of town. It's in the inner city. North Memphis is where I was raised at, and most of our team members was raised in North Memphis. North Memphis. I am North Memphis, so
we know that. So
straight out of North Memphis.
You said this weekend, how many children were killed?
Not this weekend, but 2 weeks ago, I know about a mile from my house, 5 people got shot. And in a week's time, 3 young men that grew up with my children, with my girls, I got all girls, and 3 of them died. 3 young men I know, I watched raised up from babies died in this city.
And you started a group, Memphis Lift. And what's the purpose of Memphis Lift?
To educate, engage, and empower parents all over the city. We don't just work in North Memphis. I got to clear that up. I have to find myself going back to clear things up. We got parents from all over Shelby County, South Memphis, North Memphis, Whitehaven, Cordova, Fraser. I mean, we got parents from all over the city that we work with.
And you work with them in what way? Can you talk us through? Because there are other parents out there, parents of California, I'm seeing Atlantic City, I see you. I mean, they're literally from all over. New Jersey just checked in, Rhode Island checked in. I mean, people from all over the country are listening. These are parents. They're powerful parents like you. And they don't know that they're powerful sometimes because they think, I don't have a college degree. I don't say words the way everybody else does. Nobody calls me doctor or what have you. What do you do when you work with parents with
we educate them about the landscape of education and what's going on with our education system. And we need it more now than ever with $700 million coming to our city school system. And 3 years from now, we don't want to wake up and our kids still can't read.
What's the adult illiteracy rate? Do you know in Memphis?
I don't know.
The last time I was there, it was 66%.
And it's probably less than that now. I mean,
that couldn't read, that would struggle to read. In fact, when I had the opportunity to speak at one of your great churches with a fantastic pastor, he talked about that. So let's keep going. So you educate and empower. How do you do that? So it's Thursday. You are doing Memphis Lift. Talk about what it is that you do within the community to educate parents and empower them. What's happening in Nashville? I see you.
We got a surge team, and our surge team, and I don't mind going out with our surge team, and our whole team go out sometimes. We started out knocking on doors. We stopped at gas station. We went in beauty shops. We meet the parents where they are. We meet them right where they are. And one of our team members, I had to stop at a funeral because we don't do this at the funeral, honey. We can't do that. So, I mean, we meet them wherever they are, Dr. Perry, and take them where they need to be and let them know what's going on with a system that wasn't even really meant to work for our children, I feel like.
So what you and I both know is that American public education was never designed to educate Black children, period. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. And as a result, pretty much hasn't. You can see what we refer to as the achievement gap, and that's all over the United States of America. There's not a single state in the United States of America where African-American children and white children are performing at the same level. There's not one. There's not one. So anybody who tells you that there are, anybody wants to hit you with the fairy tales of, well, if you work hard, then you will, is lying to you. And so you, in your work, are saying to parents in our community, what some might call the hood, that you ain't got to put up with this. This is not
right.
This is not, it doesn't have to be this way. So talk to, if I'm a parent, right? Because my mother was she was the vice president of the tennis association in our project. Now I don't know if she was president or vice president because there was only 2 women on the committee, but she was one of them. And I know that this is how I learned the art of organizing. But so I'm a dad. You see me at the gas station. You say what to me?
I would ask you, do you have children, first of all, and what school do they go to? And it don't matter, Dr. Perry, I got to say this also. It don't matter if it's a charter school or a district school. We work with parents across the board. It don't matter what school their children go to. So, and we go from there. And are you satisfied with your kids' education? You satisfied with the school? And if they say no, that's our way in right there. Do that make sense?
It makes absolute sense. So I say, no, I'm not satisfied with my kids' education. You say what?
We'll invite you to a meeting, or we run fellowships where parents go through fellowships and learn everything they need to know. So we would invite you in and we'll take it from there. If you're looking for a better school for your child or you're dissatisfied with the school you're in, we'll send you to Miss Renee, who is our choice counselor, and she helped those parents find the school that they want their kids to go to.
So what's a choice counselor?
Miss Renee, I walk into Miss Renee's office. I'm sick of this school. They not doing this. They not doing that. And Miss Renee said, hold on. She may try to fix the problem if she can. If she can't, she'll find a school. And we done build relationship with some awesome schools in this city. And all Miss Renee got to do is call their leader at their school and say, I got a child for you. And they don't turn them down. We know the schools that don't turn children down. But we also know the schools that do turn children down. And we don't fool with them, point blank.
And this is where you and I, this is one of the many places where you and I get to have the real conversation. We're going to talk about the Elizabeth Warren thing in a minute because I want people to understand how this whole thing came together. But many people would think that you are a Democrat who supports the Democrats and everything that Democrats do. And to hell with the Republicans and everything that they do is wrong. And Donald Trump is the devil and all these other things. I'll start. For me, I have been played by all sides. There are people, Black Democrats, Latin Democrats, Black Latino caucus members who've told me to my face, straight up, I got you, Doc. You know I got you. You know I know where you're coming from. You know I've been riding with you, watch you on television. I got you. And I'm saying, bro, like, don't say you have me if you don't have me. Like, is there something else I need? No, Doc. This legislation gonna go through. We're gonna make sure the kids get what they need to get. And I remind them, hey, brother, your kids go to schools of choice. Now, I'm not trying to put you on blast, but I'm just saying, your kids got to pick their school. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. In fact, I think it's right. That's what I fight for. But I just want you to give to our people what you get as their representative. And these brothers and sisters have straight up lied to me. They can call it what they want. But these are my brothers and sisters. Like, some of them have just straight lied. They can say what they want. One of them told me, Dr. Perry, this is good policy, but bad politics. Now, y'all don't know that when Miss Sarah and I talk, we can get blue sometimes, and so I for knowing that some of my families and children are listening, y'all don't need to hear me talk like that. So I'm gonna do what I can, Miss Sarah. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm gonna do what I can because
I'm gonna do what I can too. But my mom seems to come out of my mouth sometimes, but I'm gonna try to keep my mom inside.
If that's what it takes to make people understand just how sick and tired we are, then so be it. So you did something recently where you sat down with the Republicans.
I did.
And why would you do that? You black woman, Republicans are supposed to be the devil to us.
But actually, I feel like we got to talk to whoever gonna listen to us about our children. I mean, and what our children need. And I know they don't know what our children need. And really, sometimes I wonder, do the Democrats know what our children need? And it's not about parties, it's about children, and that's where our focus is stay on children and families. I mean, got a lot of pushback, but I'm okay with pushback. I mean,
who pushed back on you?
A couple of people in the city pushed back, probably a legislator from my own district.
But did that legislator do what you asked him or her to do in the first place?
They don't even really talk to us. They don't even really talk to us.
I want to stay there because a lot of people don't understand. Very often, you and I, both of us get taken for granted. I know some people like, nah, not the hell. They take it for granted that they got us in their pocket. That all they got to do is snap and we come running.
Right.
And we just start peeling off 20s to pay towards their campaign and then we'll just do it just because. I had a dude say to me, well, so what you gonna do? Work with the Republicans? You goddamn right. I'm gonna work with anybody. Do you honestly think that I believe that the Democrats have my back or the Republicans don't, or the Republicans do and the Democrats? You think that I think that either party is looking out for black folks? What the hell? Who would actually, my heart breaks for people who think that their party is going to overlook the fact that they, as people of color, especially people of color coming from poor communities, are going to be put on and be given the opportunity to give their children access to a quality education. I actually feel bad for people like that. Actually, like, you really think they're going to take care of you? You big dummy.
I just, man, I'm talking to whoever going to move the needle for children because our children are in trouble. And more so now, I hope going out of a pandemic. I don't know if we're going out of it or back into it, but I mean, the things that have happened over the last almost 2 years is devastating to our children, man. I mean, learning loss. We talk about learning loss. Nobody want to talk about it really. We've been talking about it for a year now, and nobody's reaching back out. I'm talking about from the district. We want our kids to catch up. We want them to be where they supposed to be, and nobody want to address the issue. And then people get on the nightly news, our local news, and say, oh, we're in good shape. We're not in good shape. We are not, our children are not in good shape. So if our children are not in good shape, guess what? Our community is not going to be in good shape. And guess what? I also believe in my heart of hearts that if we don't fix education, no need of fixing the infrastructure or anything else that they talking about on CNN. No need of fixing nothing, because if you don't fix education, guess what? Our kids, they building this thing, school to prison pipeline. Our kids in the black community, our kids gonna end up in the graveyard or in jail. That's where they end up.
And you are someone who is in the community, who hears what the parents are saying that they need. So I would imagine your superintendent must have called you straight away when he got access to $700 million and said, hey, Miss Sarah, what do y'all think?
Nobody have talked to us about that money. Nobody have mentioned the money. Nobody, we done heard from the state level that they should be reaching out to parents to talk about what they plan to do with this money. Do you think we have got a call? Now, one of my team members may have got a call, but I haven't got a call. And I don't believe one of my team members have either, because they would let me know that they got the call. Because we go as a squad together. We go together. So
y'all roll deep. I've seen it. It is. Yeah. That's why we're gonna get to Atlanta, the Democratic debate in a moment. But you have how many members of Memphis Lift and the Powerful Parents Network? How many members are in Memphis Lift?
Well, how many parents we have touched? Over 3,000 parents, I can easily say.
So over 3,000 parents from what I'll refer to more generally as Greater Memphis. Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
Okay. So 3,000 parents from Greater Memphis that you have connected with, and your superintendent, your board of education is getting $700 million to provide access to educational services, and you have not been contacted.
No, sir, we have not been contacted. And I see somebody in the comments saying nope. So our team haven't been contacted. And I know they hadn't been contacted. We roll as a squad. We coming deep. So
what now do you do? Because there are parents in Harlem, there are parents in Providence, there are parents in Sacramento who are watching us. Like they're showing us right now. You see the names are coming up. They're being played just like the rest of us by people who they know, legislators who they know, may have gone to school with, may have dated when they were in high school. These are our people, right? And that's how they ran, right? You know me, you understand, you know I'm coming from where you come. Those same people now on the board of education, right? What do you say and how will you show the Memphis Board of Education? Well, are you now a county board of education? Did the county take over?
Shelby County, yeah. We Shelby County.
So Shelby County is now taking over, and let's be honest, somebody had to, because it was a royal mess in Memphis.
Well, I mean, Dr. Perry, it's a royal mess now. It's a royal mess now.
So what then do you suggest to because we're talking to parents and educators out there, what do you suggest they do?
That parents don't quit fighting, don't stop fighting, ask questions, and no matter how.
Who should ask?
I would start out at the local district, the local school district, and see what you get. Then you build your army to go in on these people. I mean, these are our babies at the end of the day. And nobody, I don't care who teach my grandchildren. I don't care who run the school. They can't love my grandchildren like I do. And I can't love their children like they do. And half of their kids don't even go to these crappy ass schools. Half of them don't even go to these schools. When I see a school leader bring their kids to school, that let me know it may be okay. And that's still a may be okay.
But you know they don't, though. And then your legislators don't send their kids to the school.
Right. And do you blame them? You just said I don't blame them. I mean, I don't blame them. If I could afford to put my grandchildren in private school, I would.
But here's the problem, though. I don't blame them, and then I do. Because if you don't let me get what you have, then I do blame you. If you create a situation within which I cannot get what you get, but you are my representative, then damn it, I blame you. I blame you for real. And it ain't gonna be until we start running people against our own people.
Yeah. I heard a wise woman say, I'm not going to a church where the only somebody driving a new nice car is the preacher. God bless me just like he do the preacher. So why would I keep going somewhere that only the preacher is prospering? So, I mean, that's what we got to do with our education system. They not the only somebody should prosper off the backs of our children.
You are talking about something that I don't think a lot of people have the courage to talk about. You're saying people are prospering off the backs of our children. So often we see people with teachers and principals and everybody treats them like this. They're on the other hand, the other side of God. But you're saying y'all are the only ones benefiting. You're the only ones with a job. You're the only one.
Right.
But your kids are getting educated. But we're paying you to educate your kids. But our kids are not being educated.
Right. Again, I say, we just got to keep on fighting, Dr. Perry. We can't stop the fight. I mean, no matter what no matter what they say about us, we got to keep on fighting for our children. If we don't do it, who gonna do it?
Well, we know that
who was doing it before the Memphis Lift? Who was doing it before the Powerful Parent Movement? Nobody that I know of, and I've been around quite a while. I'm not gonna give my age though.
We know you're in your 20s. So this is one of those times when the rest of the country found out about you. and your team, we had decided to bring together some folks, the Freedom Coalition, which is a group of Black and Latin charter school leaders. And you had brought together parents from all over the country. And our simple point was this: while the Democrats are running for president, we are not going to give them an easy pass. They're going to have to come through us, because while we're not in a hurry to vote for Donald Trump, we damn sure ain't going to just give them our vote. They're going to have to work for this. And so that's the setup. We'd gone to Houston. We ended up going out to LA. You went to Pittsburgh, and I'm gonna talk to you about that when the teachers unions kicked y'all out. We'll go there in a second. But you and your squad, and they are. I told somebody said about something that you were doing, and I said, if Miss Sarah disagreed with me, I changed my opinion. I'm not willing to fight this woman. I've seen what she can do. I don't want no parts of that. I know why that is, but tell us how you and your squad ended up in Atlanta shutting down the Elizabeth Warren coronation, where she was there to celebrate Black women and the achievements of Black women.
Working Black women. Black working women. Like we don't work. Like we don't work. But Dr. Perry, I have to keep clearing things up. When I said squad, I was talking about Memphis. When I know Atlanta got a squad, Kim got a squad out in Atlanta, Sonia got a squad in Nashville, Crystal got a squad in St. Louis, Joe and Maribel got a squad in San Antonio. So when all those squads come together, it just makes the squad big, if that makes sense.
It makes absolute sense. So talk about, you are all at this coronation where Elizabeth Warren has found her Black Democrat to go and speak to the Black people and tell the Black people that this woman is good for them, because this Democrat is more Democrat than Black, and she is going to make sure that Elizabeth Warren and her ilk are in a position of power. And you and those sisters and brothers, because there were some brothers there as well, have paid your own way to get to Atlanta. And you are there deep. What happened to get y'all on fire?
I think it was because we knew she didn't come to listen to parents. She didn't come to listen to people who these issues directly affect. She came to talk to middle-class Black folk or upper-class Black folk, whatever they want to call themselves, bougie Black folk. She didn't come to talk to Black folks that's dealing with this issue every day with their children. She came to talk to working Black women. Like, poor women don't work. We have to work. That's how we survive, okay? So we knew she didn't come to listen to us, and we just waited. And we waited a few minutes. She getting in her speech. Working Black women. I'm sitting there like, I work. Sonia work. Maribel work. Crystal work. Kim work. All of us work. But she not talking about us. She talking about them people on the stage, the AKAs with the yellow and green on. Not yellow, green and pink.
Yeah.
That's who she was talking to. With the pearls. We didn't have pearls around our neck, okay? We may have a herringbone on that, just kidding. Just kidding. But we didn't have the pearls. We had on our t-shirts, our black and white t-shirts. And we knew she wasn't talking to us, so we knew it was time to disrupt something. And those feet started hitting the bleachers. We started hitting the bleachers, and that's when we started. We disrupted her, and the lady, I forgot the lady name. That's how irrelevant she was to me. She said, let her finish.
So you're saying that there's a Black legislator, I don't remember her name either. She's a freshman legislator. She's Black, and she was sent out in what to me is about as offensive an act as any. You send the black woman out to shut the black people up. To me, is vile. I was disgusted by her conduct, that she would allow herself to be used in that way, like she is an instrument that can be used to shut black people up. And that's the problem. That right there is the problem. When somebody puts you on and you are supposed to be the token black person, and what you do is you go and say to shut the black. She told y'all to stop.
Right.
Instead of saying, hold, Elizabeth, wait.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk to black women? I'm looking up there at about 100. They sound like they have something to say. We got this hall for a little while. I'm sure that they didn't have to be out in an hour.
Right.
You didn't say, hold on, Elizabeth, hold on, candidate for president, hold on, senator, hold on, progressive. She didn't say that. She told y'all to shut up.
Yeah. She didn't say it exactly like that, Dr. Perry, but told us to wait. To me, wait means shut up.
I don't know what else wait means when y'all are talking and she telling you to stop.
Because we've been told to wait so long. Wait, we're going to get it right. Now we're being told to wait. That we're going to get these billions and billions of dollars to teach your kids how to read. I mean, we're going to get these billions of dollars to help children get where they need to be. But guess what? And we've been told for a year, almost a year exactly. June the 16th was a year. We've been told, we wait a minute, we getting some. Oh, her name was Ayanna Presley. Somebody put in there. Still don't know her name. But anyway, I got a feeling we're gonna be told to wait when school start back. They haven't talked to us about a plan, how they plan to spend this money. So I mean, yeah. And I didn't talk to parents all over the country, and they not talking to parents about what they plan to do with this money.
So this is why what you're saying is so important. You are a mother, a grandmother, and did you say great-grandmother?
Great-grandmama one time, thank you.
Great-grandmother. So you are on the ground in Memphis and the metro area. I've seen you up here in Connecticut. You travel all over the country to talk to, but more importantly, listen to parents of every color, but mainly working class or poor.
Right.
And you have heard and can speak with precision about what they say they want from their schools.
Right.
And there are others, you mentioned a number of sisters all over the country who who have squads too, who are doing the exact same thing that you are as members of the power.
Exact same thing.
And as they're out there asking the questions at the grocery store, at the bodega, at the car wash.
Wait a minute, what is a bodega?
So up in the Northeast, in New York, a bodega is like a little corner store. Y'all might call it a corner store.
Oh, I call it the corner store.
So it's a corner store. Like some people call them package stores, and they call them liquor stores. Like there are differences in the way things are called, but it says so. Bodega is a little bit. It usually is on a corner.
That sounds classy though. We may need to start calling our corner store.
I think it's Latin. I mean, I think it's Spanish. Okay. But if it sounds classy, y'all go ahead and do it. But it's a corner store.
It may curb crime. You know, you never know.
No. It ain't curb crime. Not up here in Harlem and in the Bronx. They still rob a corner store or bodega. But even if they don't, what you do is you go in there and you listen to what people have to say. Y'all go to barbershops, beauty salons, sit there with sisters who spend 6-7 hours sitting there getting their hair done.
Yeah.
Y'all listen to them and they listen to you. And
right.
It is that you are the ones with the information you actually know.
Yeah.
Not some corny behind academic who's up there talking about how important public education is. And, we need to give more resources to the schools and pay the teachers more because they're overpaid and underworked. You know, that's not what the parents are saying.
Right.
What are the parents saying?
Parents saying my baby come home, can't read. They gave him an F. We watch kids get kicked out of class in our own house during the pandemic. In our own house, they kicking them out of class. I'm calling school. Hey, he can't get online. Well, he's not in here. I know he's not in here because it's saying waiting on the host. Shit.
So you're hearing what parents are saying.
Right.
And yet and still, Elizabeth Warren went to Atlanta Chocolate City to speak to working class or working black parents, but she wasn't there to talk to you.
Working black women.
Working black women. I'm sorry. She did the analytics and figured that if she went to Atlanta and talked to working black women, that she would gain what it was that she wanted, which is access to the most powerful seat in the world. And then she would put not working black women on. She would put more of the people who she'd been putting on.
Let's not forget she was in a historically black college,
Clark Atlanta, which is part of the AU complex, which hosts Morehouse and Spelman. And Clark Atlanta is a primarily female school because so many young women are there. It's not because they want it that way. It's just because that's how a lot of our boys are not making it to college for the very reasons that we're trying to correct. So here it is. You're in the stands and y'all start stomping your feet. You start stomping your feet.
We want to be heard. We want to be heard.
And that didn't work. And so you kept going.
Yeah.
And you stomping your feet wasn't enough. And so you said, it's my child, is my choice.
Right.
And then they didn't hear that. So y'all kept saying it louder.
Yeah. Right.
And louder and louder and louder. And then they sent this sister out to the microphone to tell y'all to stop. Let her speak.
Right.
Because she came to talk to working black women.
Right.
And you working black women need to stop talking so this lady can talk to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then after that, you guys obliged and they sent over a black pastor after that.
Right.
Talk about that. So then they sent over a black pastor to tell y'all, if you stop, what?
We're going to get you a meeting with her. We're going to get you a meeting with her, a private meeting with Elizabeth Warren. So that's what we came for. So we went for it.
So you guys stopped the disruption. You stopped stomping your feet. You stopped chanting, my child, my choice. You stopped saying all that. You did what they asked you to do. You stopped and let her finish her little silly speech. And so they gave you an opportunity to go backstage and talk to Elizabeth Warren, who says she is a staunch supporter of neighborhood public schools. Send your kid to the school that's closest to your house because that's the way that it was designed and is best for everybody. So you backstage with her and talk to us about what happened.
Basically, I was saying to her, you don't understand what we did. Yes, I do. My kids, your kids didn't go to district schools or public schools. Oh, yes, they did. And we found out she was lying.
So hold on a second.
We go to politics.
So Elizabeth Warren says that she understood where you were coming from because she sent her kid to public school, neighborhood public school. And you said that's not true. You sent your child to private school because you did your research because she felt like she was not talking to the working black women. She was talking to another group of black women who were easily confused. Right. But she didn't know that she was messing with the squad, the real squad.
Yeah.
Sisters who paid their own way from all over the country to get down to Atlanta to be heard as you fight for your kids. So you say that, and she says, no, that's not true. I did send my kid to public schools.
And she lied.
And thus is the end of Elizabeth Warren's lead, because remember she was leading at that time, and candidacy for president.
Actually, we were moving so fast, I don't know who was leading. I'm just going to be honest here. I don't know who was leading.
She was up there. Okay. And so she was done. After that, after she got caught lying about where her child went to school and trying to use the proximity that she felt she had to you as a woman, as a working woman.
Yeah.
As opposed to what she is, which is a very, very, very wealthy, highly paid, elite Ivy League professor.
Yeah.
Not really the same people who are going up to people in a gas station and asking a brother if he's got kids.
Yeah.
And if he's happy with his kid's school.
Right.
Not the same. You also tried to be heard in Pittsburgh when you guys went to speak to, it was a public education forum.
Right.
Can you talk to us about that?
Well, we walked from the hotel down to whatever the Civic Center, wherever that was, and man,
what was it that you guys did that?
What you say? Month? All I know, it was really, really cold. And
that's what really, I want to get the point out. It was during the winter that you would
right. And it was raining and maybe snowing. I don't know. It was.
I saw the video.
Yeah. So I mean, we went down there. We were met by police officers. I mean, police was everywhere. Like we was inside in a riot. It was December. So yes, it was cold in Pittsburgh. So I mean, we were met by so many police. It was kind of scary.
Again, who's the we? Because we'll come back to the police in a second. Who walked from the hotel?
Hundreds of parents. Everybody went down there with parents, and they knew why they was going.
So I want to stay here for a second, because this is the story that is not being told. Black and Latin parents who people say don't care about education, right?
That's what they say.
Who say that if we cared more about it, then our kids would do better in school, right? These parents came from all over the country, met in Pittsburgh, heard that there was a forum on public education, a public forum on public education. And so you, parents, went not trying to get a job, not trying to keep a job.
Right.
Many of y'all took time off of whatever your job was, off of work, whatever you took to get to Pittsburgh. You've said to me before that a lot of times when you take parents, it's the first time they've been on an airplane.
Right.
So these parents get on the airplane for the first time, some of them in their lives. They walk down in the winter of Pittsburgh, which is rough. I'm just going to tell you, I'm from Connecticut, and Pittsburgh winter is real winter.
Right. Right.
Y'all walk down to this event center because all you want to do is participate in the conversation about public education for our kids. That's all y'all asked to do.
Right. Right.
And Randy Weingarten, president of the teachers union, sent a full body of police, a phalanx of police, a group of police, a gang of cops to stop y'all.
Right.
Didn't even let you in the building.
We didn't get close to the door even. I mean, we didn't even get close to the door, basically.
What did they say? Why couldn't y'all go?
They didn't want us in there. I mean, if you anywhere they talking about children, parents should be there. I mean, they didn't want parents in there. You talking about our children in here, and I found out later on this guy, he was in there because he's a teacher, and he was disappointed. He didn't know they was shutting us out like they did. I think his name may be Rodney Robinson, maybe. He was teacher of the year somewhere. He was in there, and he didn't like it because they shut us out. We parents and grandparents, we are parents, real parents. And you in here talking about our babies, but you don't want us in here. We didn't have weapons. We didn't have weapons. So, I mean, and the police, I mean, it was like the whole Pittsburgh Police Department. It looked like they went to other counties to get police to come in. Like we was coming to like do something really bad.
So yeah. I want to make sure that people understand this, the timing of this. This was before George Floyd. So people just think of this as a riot.
Right.
What Miss Sarah is saying is that she and about 40, 50 other parents, how many people were there?
No, it was 100. It was 100 to 150 parents. You had parents from Atlanta, Nashville, St. Louis, San Antonio, and Memphis. I hope I ain't missed no bad. But you had parents from everywhere. Every city was there that was a part of the Powerful Parent movement. And guess what? They brought parents there. Every city brought real parents.
And what Miss Sarah means when she's talking about real parents, these are parents who don't have another option. This is their school. Their school situation has got to work. Right. They got to have a school that is teaching their child to read, write, and compute, because it's highly probable that the school system did not do it for them. They can't sit there and work with their child on algebra because they didn't learn it when they were in school. They cannot teach their child to write terribly well because they were not taught to write really well themselves. So these parents, the parents, real parents, the same parents that so many Democrats take for granted, Black, Latin, most cases poor, at best working class, these people who need a good school. Right. Y'all came down to offer up the information that you have as individual parents, but as groups of parents from all over the United States of America, who are the users, who are the customers, who are the students and the parents, the recipients of what it is that they say that they want to give.
Dr. Perry, I don't know. I got to acknowledge Corey DeAngelis because he did a lot of research for us on Elizabeth Warren. I got to acknowledge people where it's due, you know. And I don't know how you treat your parents at Capital Prep, but I just don't believe you treat your parents like they work for you.
I will.
And I'm just going to keep it real and honest here. Our charter schools and started treating parents like we work for them, like they don't need us too. They doing it too.
Let me be clear. I fight for good schools, and more specifically, I fight for school choice.
Right.
If anybody's ever heard me fight for anything other than that they're not telling the truth. And to your question about how we treat parents, we do our best. We do our best, but I'll be honest with you. I'll be completely transparent with you. Before this call, I had a call with a parent. I had to apologize because a member of our team did not treat that parent the way they needed to. But that parent heard, the mother and father heard 35 minutes of apologies from me.
Yeah.
Because when we're wrong, we're wrong.
That's right.
And we got to own that. So no school is without its issues. But let me be clear. What you were doing is you were going to offer up your very important learned opinion on what the people want.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And the teachers' unions said, do not even let them, because I saw the video. I wasn't there with you. I saw the video. They didn't even let you in from the cold, rain, and sleet.
Right.
This predate, and I want to make sure I'm making this particular point for a second. These same liberals who claim to want to defund police and take police out of schools, call the police on y'all.
Call the police on us. The same ones that say defund the police, take police out of schools. It's not what we need our children to be around. But you call the police on their parents.
Did anyone do, did you threaten anybody?
No.
What did y'all do? So tell me, I saw you walk, but what did you do? Maybe you said something on the way up there that spooked them.
I don't think we said anything. We were just walking toward the door to go in a public building, I thought, anyway, where they were talking about children, our children. We didn't say anything to threaten anybody or nothing like that. No.
So 100 to 150 Black and Latin parents were just walking. Y'all didn't have picket signs? No. Just walking.
Just walking.
You heard that there was a conversation with the candidates for president, that the National Education Association, the NEA, the largest teachers union in the country, who claims to care about public education. So you, the public from all over the country, came in just walking. There was no fear of a riot. Again, George Floyd had not happened. All those other things had not happened.
Right.
All you were doing was walking into what should have been friendly territory. These institutions as a group make their money off of Black and Latin parents, guaranteeing them their children by sending them to the neighborhood schools.
Right.
So they should have been like, welcome home.
Right.
Right?
You would think.
So you walk in and they send literally, I mean, they surrounded you. I mean, the police surrounded you. They were in front of you, along the side, and they had you pinched.
Right.
I want you to understand what parents came to the National Education Association forum with the presidents on education. I'm sorry, candidates for president, Democratic candidates for president.
Yeah.
And that group boxed in, and I want you to understand there was a wall, and they came in the front and they came in the side. So on two sides of the parents, they blocked them in so they could not move. Did you break any laws?
No.
Did you have signs?
No, we didn't even have signs. No, we didn't.
So how would they know to kick you out? Or not, they didn't kick you out. They didn't let you.
Just like we knew they were there, they probably knew we were in town too. They do research also.
But I'm sure they sent you an apology. I'm sure the National Education Association sent you an apology and invited you back to have a conversation with them about this. Yes?
Hell no, Dr. Perry. Hell no.
So the largest teachers organization in the United States of America had the opportunity to hear from parents from the community who only wanted, because you guys didn't say that you were going to do anything, did you?
No, no. We just want to be in the midst of where you talking about our babies at. That very book behind you, push, have come to shove. That's where we at now. If we don't do something, that's where we are now. That's where we are. Push, have come to shove.
So who are our friends?
Hell, I don't know. Help me out. Or somebody that's in the audience, help me out, because I don't know who our friends are right now. And I'm being honest with you, I don't know.
You know,
because the people you thought were your friend, even with the NAACP, we thought that growing up, those were the people that fought for black folks, right? But you want to call for a moratorium on charter school. You taking away our choices. Come on now.
That's the frightening thing, right? When we look at people who call themselves black leaders, right? When we look at many of these folks who you see selling the books about how to talk to white teachers about what it is that they need to do to make black kids learn, where are these people when it comes time to have the conversation about what our children need? When they're up at their elite colleges, when they're working for the New York Times, and when they don't get tenure down in North Carolina, everybody's up in arms that they didn't get tenure down in North Carolina. But nobody's saying, hey, how many black kids now go to the school because of the work that you do? Talk to us about how many more children go because of you. What do you do? Who are our friends in this?
I have no idea. When you figure it out, let me know so I can let other people know who our friends really are. And yeah, I see somebody said define friend. Yeah. I in this work, you can't even define friends. I mean, this is the hardest work I ever did in my life, and I done had some crappy jobs, Dr. Perry.
What are some of the jobs you've had?
I'm not gonna even go there with you. I done had some crappy jobs. I have cleaned people's houses. I have worked in factories. I done had some crappy jobs. And this is the hardest job, but it's the most rewarding job I ever had. When you see a parent that ain't never stood up in a school board meeting and speak out, that's the reward, you know. That's the reward to me.
I feel like the only friends we have are parents.
But wait, they don't know that. The other people act like they don't know that. We know that though. We know that. And it's our job is to educate and empower and engage parents. That's our job. We don't work for charter schools and we don't work for district school. We work for school choice, just like you. We want our parents to make the choice where their kids go. The gap on the teacher junior here said we're not advantageous enough to make the choice. Who in the hell you think he's talking to? Like we can't make choices for our children.
Think about how racist that statement is, because he's not talking to white parents and saying that.
This wasn't a white man that said it, was a black man.
And I'm not, and let's be clear, I ain't talking about that the racism has to come from a white person. The fact that anyone would look at black people and say that you don't have the capacity to know what good schools are is disgusting and racist. I don't give a damn who says it. Let's just be clear. Here's what I know, because they used to say that mess. Got me worked up. They say that mess before as the school choice movement was starting. And what they did was they forgot that the streets talk. And you ever notice how the schools with the highest scores have the largest waiting list? How is that possible? If we don't know what the best schools are, when we don't look at what the state test scores are, we don't look at what the reports are, but we know when we talk to each other, when we're at the beauty salon, we're at the barbershop, when you're at the AAU basketball game, when you're over at the U football game, when somebody's over there trying to sell fish for their fish dinners for their church or mosque, right? When they're over there doing those things, we talk, right? Parents talk. And they say, where are you sending your child to school? Where are you sending your child to school? And think of how disgusting it is in this country that we still have to fight to send our kids to a good school. Nobody's asking for any particular kind of school. We just want to go. We just want to be able to go to whichever one works for us.
Right.
So I've kept you so much longer than I said I was, and I promise you I will get you out. But you are a freedom fighter. What is it that that frustrates you?
I know a lot of people don't talk about this, but I'm frustrated with my own people now. The people that look like me and the children that we work for that can move the needle for not only the children, but for the Black community as a whole. Those people not moving the needle. And I said it right here. And I mean what I say. And that's what frustrates me the most.
And let me add to that. There is little that's more frustrating than to see a Black state legislator, a Latin state legislator, who could, in the Black and Latin caucus, come together to make school choice universal in every state in America. In fact, in most states where there are large percentages of African American and Latin people, there are enough legislators of color to form the tip of the spear to work with the Republicans and to tell the progressives to shut the hell up, because they send their kids to these tawny suburban schools. So they could very easily make school choice universal. They could let money follow the child everywhere. And these same people say they want to increase the amount of money that goes to Pell Grants. Same people say they want to increase the amount of money that goes to Section 8, Medicaid, Medicare, all of which are voucher programs, by the way. Those same people could do the same thing for K to 12. Those same people who want universal pre-K fight against universal school choice. So universal pre-K is universal school choice. Most pre-K is private. There are very few public pre-K programs. Some of the pre-K programs are out of people's houses, but you can use the money, government money, to pay auntie such and such to run a pre-K out of her house, which you should, as far as I'm concerned, or pastor such and such. So if Pastor Whalum down in Memphis wanted to start a pre-K, he could, and he could get government money for that, right? But if Pastor Whalum wanted to start a K to 5, he cannot get government money for that.
I love Pastor Whalum.
You know how I feel about my brother.
He speaks his truth too, and don't care who get mad at him, and that's what I love about him.
You know I love him 2 pieces. He and his wife are an amazing, and they are
Right.
amazing family. I love them 2 pieces. But here's the point. We want one thing. That's all we want is universal school choice. We don't want more charters, more magnets, more VOTEC. We don't want, we don't want to shut down neighborhood schools. We don't want to open up neighborhood schools. We just want the public, to be able to determine where they send their child to school. Nothing else.
Right. Right. And the school district don't need to take up the good seats in the district. We find that go on in Memphis too, and we can get ready to go there. We don't have the space. But when you do your research, you see board members' kids in these good seats. You see the whole district. If you work at the school district, you can get your child in one of the best district schools, which is fine if that's what they doing. But it's not fair to us, I feel like.
There's a Board of Education member in Hartford. His name is Craig Stallings. He stood in my office. His kids all went to my school. He stood in my office and told me that any board member who sends their child to a Hartford public school should be arrested. He said that to me. Now, he can lie and he didn't say it, but he said it.
Wow.
He said it. And that same man fought against the expansion of our school. You can go through your local Board of Education, your local legislators, meaning your city council people, your state legislators, your federal legislators. I spoke with Johanna Hayes before she ran for office. She and I were speaking at the Urban League, and I asked her where she would send her kids to school. It wasn't the school system where she became Teacher of the Year. And she could say, well, I didn't live in Waterbury. You could have moved there. They didn't stop selling houses there.
Right.
You could have lived there. And so these same people, AOC, bragged about how she helped her niece get into a charter school. She tells the story about her family moving her out of the Bronx so they could go to a better school. But they say they support, but all these people who benefit from school choice are the same people working against it. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm cool with everything the Republicans say. They say some really ridiculous things. Like, I don't know what kind of, like, what planet these cats are on. And I really wish that some of them would dial the rhetoric back, because it would make my work easier to work with them. But one thing that I'm for, it doesn't matter which side of the aisle is. If you give us universal school choice, we can disagree on some other things. But if you give us universal school choice, you don't want to teach critical race theory, fine. Don't send your child to a school that does. I might. You want to teach, you don't want to teach evolution in your school? I don't care. I'm not sending my kid to your school. We have an opportunity to change the way things are. So I'm gonna let you take us out.
I think, Dr. Perry, the only way we're gonna change it is school district, teachers union, everybody in charge respect parents and let them make their own decisions. They're our babies. Let us make our own decisions. The teachers union been in charge for how long on the political side?
Since 1968.
Okay, well, they haven't did nothing incredible, right?
All they've done is take the same racist system and they've made it law. They've taken the same racist system that is destroying our children, and they have benefited from it. And almost none of them live in the communities, the urban communities within which they work.
Right.
None of them. And you will be hard pressed to find any of them who send their child to some of these raggedy ass schools that they want us to send our children to.
Right. I mean, I just feel like that we got to keep pushing. The only way we're going to change it is be consistent and keep pushing and keep getting parents on board. Because I still believe it's more parents than teachers union. If we took our children out of the school, what would they teach at? Where would they teach?
So here's my question to you. What gives you hope?
What gives me hope is parents are persistent. When parents keep coming back, keep saying, I'll go to the school board meeting, I'll speak at a county commission meeting, I'll go to the state cap. That give me hope. Because I feel like you're still building that army of parents. That gives me hope. And when somebody sit down with me with our team and talk about that, we give them hope. That's what the man told us last week. We give him hope.
That man was a Republican?
Right. I mean, but we on the other hand, he can tell me that, but he got to show me something now. And I've been struggling with this for probably the last 3 years, Dr. Perry. You lay down at night and you like, I don't really want to fight my own people, you know? And I lay down with that on my mind at night. I don't want to be out here like talking about my own people, but they not helping us work a damn in this city and all over the country, really.
So I'm going to tell you this. Trust and believe that I will run candidates against anyone, Black, Latin, white, Democrat, Republican, Green Party, or other, who work against our children. It is my goal to let them know that I'm not playing with them. See, because I've played this, you grow up light skinned, you gotta work real hard to point out to everybody you Black. And I carried that burden. I've walked around with that for too long. And y'all want to kick me out, I'll be Cuban, no matter to me anyway. But I don't want to be the last person at the dance. I don't want to be the last person talking about how proud I am and how committed I am to the community when the people who we put in positions of leadership are not committed to us. I'm committed to the community. I'm not committed to some state legislator. I'm not committed to some
I'm totally committed to my community. And believe it or not, and I say this a lot, I have had an opportunity to move, but if I move, guess what? The lady I love across the street still here. The kids around the corner still here. My daughter still here. People I love still here. So I'm gonna stay right here.
And that's the point. The reason why I want to go up here is because you are staying right here.
I'm gonna stay right here.
You are an immovable object, and you are our Rosa Parks. You are Harriet Tubman. You are really an American hero.
That means I gotta get a gun, Dr. P.
I'm not mad at that.
That means if I'm Harriet Tubman, I gotta get a gun.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I certainly appreciate you, Dr. Perry, for having me today. I'm still struggling. I'll probably be struggling with this for a while. How do I get to my own people? The very people say they want things to change for the Black community, Black children, Latin children, white children, because I do believe it's children of all races that's suffering out there, and we fight for those children too. So don't get it twisted.
Sister, I was speaking to someone from a very wealthy town today. And everybody who lives in that wealthy town ain't wealthy.
Right.
And just because they're white, it doesn't make them wealthy. It makes them white. And one of the problems is that too many people who are white and ain't wealthy don't understand that they're in the same boat we in. And they just play. What they think is that because they're doing better than we are, that they're doing well. But those South Korean kids done whooped their ass a long time ago. Those German kids done whooped their ass a long time ago. Those other European countries, they done whooped them a long time ago. Denmark and scraped them. So you might have beat our kids, but you lost on the international stage. And trust and believe those kids from China are not scared of you. Watch what happens when China stops sending their kids to places like Yale, Princeton, Harvard, and the like. When they say, you know what, we ain't got to do this with y'all no more. Why am I sending my kids so far away? I just keep them here in Beijing. It rocks. One of the things that China did a couple years back was they decreased the importance of English on their national examinations. What people should recognize is that means they're done. They're tired. So some of these white folks who think that they're chilling, you doing better than the Black people. Okay, you big dummy. You ain't doing nothing, because those cats from the Far East are coming. And when they're done, it's a wrap. And who you going to look to? You're going to look to us to save your behinds. And we're not going to be there for you because our kids ain't going to be able to read, write, and compute. And we're not going to be able to help in the way in which we should have been had you made the commitment to make sure our kids could do all the things they need to do. I remain committed to our community, but not to the people who call themselves our leaders.
Right.
So
I'm committed to the community also. I'm committed to the community, fully committed. I'm committed to the Memphis community. When we say North Memphis, folks get it twisted. We work all across Shelby County. And we talk to parents in every district, Dr. Perry, and they get it twisted like because our building is in North Memphis, they get it twisted like they just North Memphis. No, we talk to parents all over the city, and we go all over the city unafraid to go anywhere.
What Miss Sarris, when the most recent times I was in Memphis, my point was I'm sick and tired of coming out here having the same goddamn conversation with y'all.
Those are your exact words at the National Civil Rights Museum when I came to hear you speak. But you know what? If you came back tomorrow, you'll be talking about the same thing. It's a little worse now, though. You'll be talking about the same thing again. And you said you weren't coming back to talk about the same thing. I think last time you said, I'm going to talk about relationships.
Because this ain't it. This is old. This is old.
Right.
We shouldn't have, this conversation should be over. We should not be talking about whether or not people get to go to their own school. That's dumb. Like, we shouldn't have that conversation. What we should be talking about right now is, now the kids are in the schools, how do you make the schools better?
And I'm afraid when this rescue money that ran out, we'll be talking about the same thing again. Kids can't read. I know 12th graders that graduated last year and this year can't fucking read.
Right. And every single person who taught them kept their job. And got one more year towards retirement and the benefits in Memphis.
Right. Off of our children's back.
And meanwhile, right now, they're home somewhere chilling.
It's like you paying people to fail you. You paying people to fail you. And I'm not just talking about teachers, because Dr. Perry, to tell you the truth, I done stood up for great teachers too. So I don't want that to get twisted either. I stand up
I don't feel compelled to mince my words. If you suck at teaching, you know you suck at teaching. Don't sit there and tell me.
Right.
And if you're good at it, you know you're good at it.
Right.
So if you think me saying you suck is going to be the determinant of whether you suck, or me saying you're great going to make you great, you know what the truth is. You know what your data says. You know if the kids in your class can read, write, and compute. And if they can't, then you are not doing a good job. And that's your cross to bear. That's not mine. And so go ahead. I'm sorry. Sometimes
I think the teachers union think we're against teachers. No,
they don't think that. They're just whining and crying. It's just, they don't listen to that foolishness. They call me anti-teacher. Whatever. You can call me whatever you want. I'll call you anti-black people. How about that?
Yeah.
Because I can at least prove mine. Right. I can show that everything you do hurts my community. So you are against my community. So if that makes me against you because you're against me, then so be it.
Right. And you know what, Dr. Perry, Renee often say that it's about the haves and have-not. It's not about black and white anymore. It's about, and I think about that, and that may be true. They don't have what we have, so they don't need what we have, you know?
Oh, I want to say this. It is still black and white. Until in this country, there is no difference in the outcomes for black people than there is for white people. When black people live the same length of life and same quality of life as white people, then we can have that conversation that it ain't about black and white. Then you count me in that conversation. Yeah. But as of today, it's still black and white. It's still very much black and white. It doesn't mean that they don't have their issues, and doesn't mean that we shouldn't align with people of all cultures. Let's be about that. But if the least among us have to get it first, then we got to push black people up to the front of the line. Well, Native Americans and black people, we got to push them up to the front of the line. And then everybody else. Like if we're going to do it by that, if you truly are a Christian, the least among us is supposed to be the first to be served, then by all means, we got to go that way. Sis, I appreciate you more than you will ever know.
I appreciate you, Dr. Perry. I've been following you for a long time, man. And I appreciate you in a major way. Well,
I will say this. The feeling is mutual. I have seen your work. I have seen you shut down the entire Democratic slate in ways in which people didn't think was possible. Big money got hurt by a better place plan. But most importantly, what you do every single day that nobody sees, when you're sitting there with that mother who is literally crying because she knows her son cannot read.
Right.
And she went to the same exact school that
Right. And
he
her
goes
and
to.
her mom went to that school, and her mom's mom went to that school, and the damn school about to fall on our children now, generations later. I gotta shout out the Powerful Parent Movement from Nashville, Atlanta, St. Louis, San Antonio, Memphis, of course, and Nashville. None of this work can be did by one person, Dr. Perry. I gotta keep saying that. I gotta keep saying because it's true.
I appreciate that. Anybody else you want to shout out on the way out?
I see Mary Ellen on here. I love Mary Ellen to the moon and back. I seen Visha earlier. I don't know if she's still here. I see Ashland Sparks, our newest team member. I see the Memphis Lift team on here like deep. We deep on here, So I appreciate them because they the one make it happen every day. It's not about one person. My mama always used to say, no man, and then later on I said, or woman is an island. My mom would say, no man is an island. So when I got old enough to realize that it's not about just men, it's no woman or man is an island. So I am not an island, and I will never be an island. Well, that's who I am.
You make me proud to be a member of the Black community. You make me proud to be among those people who are fighting this fight. And one day when they write the story and they tell it like it's supposed to be told, children are going to be learning in Memphis in the best school for them. And some children will know who did it and many will not, but all of them will benefit from the work that you do. So I love you.
Love you too, Dr. P. Shout out to Gwen Samuel.
You know that's right. Gwen Samuels, we love her to pieces. And I can say this, what the powers that be have done is they've given us every reason to unite. And every reason. And that was dumb on their part. They easily had us to just sit us down and give us what we wanted. But when a couple of these brothers and sisters who are legislators, and I'll say this as we part, many people are African American and Latin who are state legislators were at best middle class. And they did not have and do not have the financial heft to stand on their own. And so they use and are used by the unions and their party as tools to send a message to the Black community to settle down and be patient. And many of those legislators don't have an authentic groundswell of support. And what they don't understand is that makes them a lot more vulnerable than they realize. And they need people like you who are fighting in the community to support them. And what they don't understand is you are far too intelligent to keep following fools. So what happens when you decide that you, the giant, are going to stand and they now are in your shadow? They now will have to answer to you. They could have easily been on the side of right. Their kids benefit from school choice. Mr. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten calls from legislators who have said, I don't even know how they get my phone number. Hey, doc. Oh, hey, this is Senator such and such, Representative such and such. Hey, my niece is on your waiting list. Really? Wow. What number is she? 23. 23. Wow. Anything you can do? Nah, brother, that would be illegal. But I can tell you something you could do. If you would allow us to have the money for the child, then we don't have to have 24 kids leave our school in the next couple of months, which is never going to happen. We could just expand our school by 25 seats. And then not only can your niece get in, but the little girl up the street could get in too. And we can create all these opportunities for all these beautiful Black and brown kids. Because I know you know so much about the Black and brown community, or so you say, or so your campaign literature says.
Right.
So I'm not going to say that they don't care, but what they do care more about is that seat at the table. They like being called senator and representative. They like the statue that comes with it. And what I'm saying is, if you've been given it, then damn it, do something with it. And I want you're done with your stint at the legislature. I want you to be able to point to the things, not just because you made weed legal, which by the way ain't gonna help black people, big dummy. That's not gonna help us. We ain't the same big pharma and big tobacco gonna take that back over. You fool, you done gave them another thing to sell to get our community high, but that's a different conversation.
Right.
Show us what you've done for our community. So because of the work you do, and because of people on all sides of the aisle, you know, you bigged up Corey earlier. I will do the same. Good looking out. We're gonna work together. We don't have to agree on everything, but we're gonna agree on this. We're gonna get universal school choice, and when we do, oh, glorious day it'll be.
Yeah, exactly. Dr. Perry, I got one more thing to say. And when you fix it for North Memphis, you fixing it for Cordova, you fixing that's the suburban area. You may not, you fixing it for Germantown, you also fixing it for South Memphis, Whitehaven. Because guess what? When crime is committed by kids that can't read, they cross the lines. They go cross the line. So I mean, and our kids are smart, and I know they're smart. So when you fix it for our children, you fixing it for a whole city, a whole county. You got to fix it for our children too. We don't want to just fix for your kids, for you to send them off to Ivy League schools, which is fine and dandy. But when you fix it for our kids, you fixing it for your kids too.
Well, those are the last words. You mean the world to me, but more importantly, you mean the world to our community.
Thank you, Dr. P.
You show so many women in particular, because I'm going to say it the way I'm saying it, so many mothers who have sons in most cases who feel like this community's doing them wrong, and they know they're trying to do everything they can to stop this boy from ending up in cuffs.
Exactly.
You give them hope. You give them hope. And so whatever I can do to whatever little bit of platform I have, you know that you have anytime you want, Miss Sarah. Every Thursday, we do no dumb questions. If there's anything I can ever do, you know that anytime you call on me, I do everything I can to make it happen.
Thank you, Dr. Perry. Thank you so much. I love you also. And I appreciate the work that you do also.
All right. You take good care of yourself, sis.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Peace.